Hey, YouTube family, how are you guys doing? Just getting back from work, and a parent dropped this off to the music teacher at the school I teach at. And the music teacher was like, what am I going to do with this? So it's a small scale first act discovery electric guitar, I guess. Check that bridge. It's just like a bent piece of metal. Looks like a typical Strat size tele pickup. String spacing is pretty much standard of a regular guitar. Looks like there's a speaker here in the middle. One volume. There's a little power button here, but it doesn't do anything. I'm guessing on off. That must like turn on the speaker. So there's a battery here. So I guess, anyway, input jack is all loose in there. Anyway, he said, I'm just going to throw that in the garbage. I'm like, well, let me take it home and see if I can do something with this. Look at the action. It's like a lap steel. So anyway, it's got these little protective covers, so the kid or whatever doesn't, jam his fingers in there. Yeah. Pretty special. So, I thought, you know what? I'm going to see if I can't make this playable and maybe do a few mods to it. And if it works, I'll take it back to the school and the kids in the music class can, horse around with it. But, yeah, we'll see what we can do with this thing. It takes a 9-volt. I do have one here. It came out of a pedal. I don't use batteries in my pedals, so I always have like a 9-volt hanging around here. I don't even know if this is good. Oh, it's good. Use the old tongue test. Put that in there and see what happens. Well, snaps in there. All right. Holy smokes, the light comes on. Look. See that? I hear something. Well, see if it does any. Okay, here's not very loud. Here's the speaker off. Oh, you can hear it. But the strings are so far up from even this pickup that I guess probably wouldn't be loud anyway, but it's not tuned. Let's see if it actually works if we plug it into an amp. See if I can even get that in there. Oh, you know what? I got it to click in. Not hearing any noise from it. What? It works. Guess it doesn't matter if the speaker's on or off. When it's plugged in, it still works. Octave is usually the 12th fret, right? So listen to this. Oh, there's definitely a short in there. So the octave here is the 11th fret, not the 12th. So yeah, I'm guessing that's just because I'm pushing down almost 5/8 of an inch to make contact. Holy moly, man. It's got some wires. Got a circuit board in there. Look at you, first act. Holy lifting. They must have used a chisel to carve that out. The whole housing is cracked. Maybe I can just connect it like a regular guitar. Alright, got the strings off. Gonna take this speaker out, see what we're dealing with here. Okay, we just got a little metal grill cover and a cheap ass speaker. It's not much to that. And this is the input jack wires. Am I gonna need that? Or am I gonna need this? You guys are probably like, you're ruining it! Oh, we're gonna make a real little guitar out of this. Ceramic pickup. No clue what it is. Center to center. It's like 52 mil. So just like a standard Strat style pickup. I had a look to see if I could find these, and I didn't find much about them, but I did find a listing, an old listing on a Reverb site, and it said that this had a 21.5 scale length. So if I check, the E string, it's not 21.5. 21.5 would be way back here. However, if I check where the big E is, yeah, see, I'd have almost 21.5 here. But if 21.5 is where the small E needs to be, then this bridge needs to be way further back for this thing to even come close to intonating. So basically, to measure a scale length of a guitar, you measure from the nut to the center of the 12th fret, and then you double that, and that's your scale length. From the nut to the center of the 12th fret, we would have 10 and 5/8. So 10 and 5/8 times 2 would be 21 and a quarter. So they're saying that 21 and a half is the scale length of this guitar, or on the listing I saw. 21, okay, so this is something I kept from an upgrade I did to one of the many guitars I've modded over the years. It's like a Strat bridge, like a 5-hole mount Strat bridge with actual saddles. So, if I size this up side by side, this bridge isn't any taller than where the strings are resting on this one. Plus, now I have, action adjustment up and down. And this bridge, if I look at where the strings are, it's not going to be any wider than this either. Look, the E string and the E string will be right pretty much where those notches are on this little bar here. So you know what? I think this would work. We have a real bridge on an unreal guitar. And out comes the neck. And there is no truss rod. It is what it is. Jeepers. Looks like it's been re-drilled a couple times. We got 15 millimeters on this side. And we got about the same on this side. A while ago I had bought a groove guitar. Now this is probably, last year, maybe 2023 even. And one I got was total trash. It needed everything, and I mean everything. I needed to re-drill the neck holes in it. Anyway. And I remember when I did the neck on it, the plate on that groove guitar was smaller than a typical Strat plate. Look, it was a lot narrower. Do you see that? And the holes did not line up. And lo and behold, on that video, I said, where did they get these plates? Like, do they not just buy standard size stuff? Well, I think they get these plates from First Act. Because look at this. Holy smokes. It's like a perfect fit. It fits bang on with those holes on this First Act guitar. So, I'm going to use this plate to stabilize that neck. Top holes will be fine, but these bottom ones are going to have to be filled and re-drilled. Alright, well, there you go. This nut, I don't know, man. It's pretty terrible. I got a new nut in there. It's much better cut than the other one, but it's still just a plastic nut. I believe this was the nut that I pulled out of the Groove guitar that I totally modded a while back. So the Groove guitar nut fit perfectly on this first act. What does that tell you? Polished and conditioned this fretboard. There were no unlevel frets. I'm not even sure that these are frets. They're actually little thin pieces of brass wire. They're super small. And they might look like they're gleaming pretty good, but they're still kind of a goldish color. I can't get them like mirror finish because I don't think they're nickel. The back of the neck is actually nice. It's got some nice figuring back there. It's almost like a flame maple there. It's pretty cool. These tuners, I don't know. We're going to take this off. The problem is that this cap actually has a sleeve that goes over the post inside, the thickness of the headstock. So it's like a bushing that goes in there. So that's probably necessary to keep this tuning peg from flopping around, right? So I'm just going to try to snip 3 little tabs around this peg, leave the bushing in there, and just pull these caps off because, let's face it, they're ugly. Once these are in place, look, once there's strings on that, you're barely going to be able to tell. Just looks weird because there's no like physical washer there. So yeah, cut those dowels off. So that should be good. All I got to do is put this neck in the body, put the 2 top holes here, and screw in those 2. But this neck is going to need a shim. So I'm going to figure out how thick of a shim I need to put in there. And then I'll drill the holes all the way through. Look at those bottom holes. They line up perfectly. I got to put a little centering bit in there to make sure I can get the neck hole started. There. We got 4 body through neck holes. This original plate had way too many holes in it. I'm just going to use 1 volume pot. No tone. Just, 1 volume straight out to the jack. So I had this pickguard material that was a mirror finish or chrome, call it what you will. So I kind of fashioned a little pickguard for this thing and plate, so to match. So I just got to peel off the white paper. It should be chrome underneath, but that should fit pretty good. This material is fairly thick, but it's so brittle. I couldn't cut it. I couldn't cut it with the saw. I had to sand it down. Like I used the saw to cut like the overall shape, and then I had to sand down the lines because it would just chip away at everything. Even with a little bandsaw, like it was, man, I don't know how they cut this stuff, but it was ridiculously hard to cut. And then because I was sanding it, and I had to jimmy rig into the belt sander to get this area here, which was virtually impossible. I had to do the insides with like a little sanding file and stuff. I went a little bit too wide on the pocket. So this should sort of look like that, right?
We hit the...
Here we go. That's going to be her. So these strap buttons I just swapped out with longer screws. These are metal. The original strap buttons are plastic. And one of them was cracked. Guys, I don't know if that's showing up. Oh, it's got a split right in it. Okay. That's it. Wasn't many wires, only 5. Should be pretty straightforward. I'm going to put the original button back on. It's on there perfectly. Let's see if we have some sound, shall we? We do. We have a functioning guitar electronically speaking. I keep reading that a shorter scale guitar requires heavier gauge strings so that it's not too slinky. It stays in tune better and can intonate better. But this guitar does not have a truss rod. So I don't want to put a heavy gauge string on this and have the neck not hold its straightness. So I'm going to go with some 9-42s. And hopefully that will be okay. But who knows? Alright. Gonna find out. Alright. Little trick. So when you have a top load bridge like this, and these types of saddles where the string has to come up through the middle of the saddle to go over it and off to the tuner, when you have to load it under the saddle, it's hard to get the string through. So just like take about an inch of string and put a curve in it. Like that. I don't know if you can see that even on camera, but just put a curve in it. And then, then you can just put it inside that hole. See, it just comes right out. Just feeds right through and then pull it out. I've seen people pull these saddles off and feed them through the string to slide them back down. Yeah, you can do it that way, but it's a heck of a big job. So just kink the end of it like that. And you're good to go. And you rounded curve like this, right? And then you can, so you see how this is made? How the adjustment screws there and the hole to feed the string through is way at the bottom, almost at the body. With the curve, it just rolls right up. You just slide it in. You have to line your string up. And then look, it just comes right out of the middle of the saddle. Right? And you're good to go. All right, we got the strings on. And look at that. That's pretty good string alignment right there. Look at that. Good capo on this guy. Wow, you know what? That isn't bad at all. Look at that. That is pretty good. A little bit of movement there, but nothing that would make me go, oh no. But the action of the nut is ridiculously high. Look at that. Well, at least the 12th fret is the octave now. That's good. I'm trying to get a rough action height. And I'll do a final train setup here. I got the nut nice and low. And the action is really good. So, now we train. The tune, skip the relief, we can't do anything with it. Double check the action after it's tuned, set the intonation, hopefully that bridge placement will be okay, and go from there. Alright, well, she's done. Full of fingerprints, man. String alignment's pretty good. These tuners are absolutely atrocious. They're going to have to be changed. Good job, First Act, from absolutely ruining any hopes of a child picking up any interest in guitar with this model of yours. Absolutely terrible. Anyway, let's see what I can do now that I got some tweaks. folks. There's the first act modified version 1.5. These tuners, they suck. They have to go. I'm going to see if I can find something that I can put on there without having to spend any money. And these saddles, you can see to intonate, I had to get these saddles fairly back. So these screws are interfering with the string coming under and over this saddle. So I'm going to need to cut these screws, make them shorter, because I don't need that length interfering with the string down there. See this one? It's like the string is between the screw and the body of the saddle. Like it's, cocking the string all to one side. So it's causing a little bit of vibrations in the bridge that shouldn't be there. But anyway, that's it. At least a kid could play this now and it would sound kind of like what a guitar is supposed to sound like. Even a little kid hand could do Stevie Ray Vaughan bends on this thing. So yeah. Anyway, I thought it'd be different. Share with you guys. Like they say, what makes you stretch makes you more flexible, right? Flexibility is a good thing when it comes to guitar repair. So I guess all in all, it's somewhat of a win. You guys let me know what you think. Take it easy. God bless. And I'll see you in the next one.